Hey everyone, what's up? Today we're going to focus on creating this Neon Noir NFT collection landing page. We'll be executing our design directly in Framer and not in Figma as we normally do. It's an excellent design tool, so why not start completely in Framer since we're going to end up there anyway. Together we will construct an elegant header complete with these interactions and animations. We're going to take it step by step so everyone can follow along. With that said, let's get started. So before we begin, let me show you what we are going to be building today. We have the header animating in. We have this slider in the bottom that animates in as well. And you can switch between the different states. Let's play it again so you can see the animation. Let's create a new document. Let's make the width 1440. Let's set the background color to the same. Good. Let's start by adding the main text. Let's write Neon Noir. If you can't see it because it's black, let's go here, make it white. Let's go into our layers, desktop, Neon Noir. Let's pick the right font. This one is called Tanker. Let's set size and let's make sure to adjust the letter spacing. This, align it to the center or center line it, and then now we need top headline left and right. Let's lock this so we don't interrupt it again. Lock, new text. Let's go back to our text, futures past. Here we go. Let's take this one. Let's add the text. There we go. And done. No. Let's set it to 16. Let's make sure the letter spacing is set to 0 again. Let's left align it this time. Pull it up a bit. Let's add a gradient to it, clicking on linear gradient. Let's go into styles, presets. Let's pick this one, turn it like so. Let's make it slight orange and make it longer. Also brighten this one up like this. Let's make it a bit smaller, 32. Call this top header left. Right. Yeah, top header left. Let's duplicate it. Do one more. Let's right align this one. There we go. Let's type NFT collection. Let's make this one blue. Yeah, there we go. This one, call it right. Move this one into place. Now we need the text down here. Let's lock this one again because otherwise we're gonna hit it all the time. Let's go back to our notepad with the text. Add a text. A bit large, so let's pick another one. Let's go with Inter, which is always a good one. Make it smaller, 16. Width, let's try 16 or 600, sorry. Large, let's say 20. Let's go back to see what we actually created on this one. Content. Okay, 20. Let's go with the same one. I like that one. Author. Good. Let's make it gray by picking color and choosing a preset like this one. Remove the vixens, I like that one, and like so. Let's place it roughly so it aligns with the back end of the N. Let's take this T once again, like this. Let's pick the bold. Let's make it pink, I think. Maybe a gradient again to support the cyberpunk theme. Yeah, this one looks fine. Let's take this, duplicate it, and let's take this one. Let's set this one to regular again. Let's make it 400. And even smaller, so 16 and 16. Let's make this one white, just so it doesn't conflict with this. This one could be medium, bold, semi-bold. Let's use the same color for this as well as for this one. So go into here, click linear, presets. Let's click the plus. As you can see, I've already done it, but it's here. Let's click on this, add the same one. Now let's add the images. Now wait, we need one more thing. This one, let's group these things together. So we have the text and the content. Add frame. Let's call this content. And then we need one more thing before moving on. Let's take the gradient, or create a gradient in the back at the top. Let's drag a big frame here. Fill. Let's make this transparent. Click, make it radial. This one should be transparent, black. This one should be, switch it around, like so. Let's make it blue. Something like this, and let's add a tint, red tint to it perhaps. Ever so slightly, like so. Good, let's close this, pull it up. Let's zoom out and let's make it even larger. There we go. Now that I see it, I want to remove this. Decrease this one, like so. Let's call it gradient so we can locate it again after or later. Put it below the content and lock it. Now we have the base. Let's start adding some images. Grab a frame by clicking F for frame. I have some numbers prepared, so let's see. The small is 225 by 290. 225 by 290. And let's make it 25. No, 16. Let's do 16. Pull it all the way down here. I'm just before naming them, I'm just gonna duplicate and put it into place. 490 by 630. And then this one as well. Let's pull them apart a bit. Good. 24 each, right? Like this. But now that I'm seeing this, I think we should move it a little bit. So let's take the content, pull it up. Just a tad, like so. Let's grab this and frame them. Right click, let's call it text. Let's pull it up a bit, like so. Let's take the description, pull it up also, like this. Let's call this one 1, 2, 4. Let's start inserting some images. I created all these in Midjourney, but they're all in like cyberpunk images, but let's use some of these that I used in the preview. Let's grab the big one. No, the first one is this one. Take the next one, add an image, this one. And the final one. So we're almost done now. We just need the buttons that will advance the slideshow. So let's create one. Let's go layout, frame, small one here. Let's make it 60 by 60. Let's make the radius 100 just to make it round. And let's make it white. Good. Let's call this button. Now we need an icon. Let's go insert. Icons, phosphor, place it inside the button. Let's look for the arrow. There's a lot of them, so let's do arrow left. Where are you? Arrow left. Let's make it 24 and in the middle make it black. Let's turn this one into a component by right clicking, create component. Yeah, button is fine. Let's take this and create a hover state. So you have a variant or the hover pressed. Let's go to the hover one. And on hover, let's make it slight gray just to show that something is happening. And we can also move this one like so. So now when you hover, see if we can make it play. So when we hover, it goes like this. And animates between the two states. It's good. Let's go back. So now we have button. Let's call this back. Let's duplicate it. Place it below. This is our back button actually, and this one is our forward button. See if we can rotate it 180. And place it on top. Now we have everything set up. So we have image 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have a forward and back button. So let's grab these and go and turn them into a component. Right click, create component. Let's call this slider. And while we're here, let's just fill it with a button or background color so we can see what we're doing. Like this. We need to be able to advance it 3 steps. So let's create duplicates of all these by highlighting them. Duplicate. Grab them below. Let's call this 1, 1, 1, 2, and 3, 3, 4, 4. Let's lock all these just while we're playing with the other ones. Let's grab this one. And this should be the same, so it's 225 by 290. 225 by 290. Let's make sure it's placed at the bottom, so 0. Hide it. So now it's 24 pixels from the rest. So let's take these and put it all the way out here, and still make sure that it's inside so we can see it. Let's click on the variant and say visible overflow so we can see what we're actually doing. And now let's unhide the big one. Show. Good. So now we have all these. So now let's create the variants so we can cycle between the different states. Let's call this one start. Duplicate it. Let's call it slide 2. Doesn't matter what you call it, we can always just for our own reference. So let's start by making this one 225 by 290. Let's make sure it anchors to the bottom. 225, 290. Place it at the same, like so. This one should be out here somewhere. Let's make it smaller with 90 and opacity 0. Let's move number 2 to this one's place. That was, where was that? 115. Let's do the same here. 115. Good. Now we need this one to go in and take this one's place. And this one was 613. So let's do the same for this. 490 by 630. 490. Like so. Now we need the space for this. And do it like so. 1127. Let's make sure it anchors correctly so we can get the same. There we go. So now when you press this, you should be able to advance to this. So this one scales up, this one scales down, this one moves out. Now let's take slide 3, do the same. Let's grab this, 115. Let's make this 225, 290. Copy. Perfect. I need the image behind it, which is this one. So here. Smaller. What did I say with this one? No. $90. Good. Now let's do the final slide. This one, slide 4. Pull this one to -55, 90, and opacity 0. Move this to this one's place, which was 115. So now on the first one, let's zoom in here. We don't want the back button, so we can scale that one down and move this one into place. But on the next slide, we want this one up. And we want this one to be 60 again. Let's grab that location from this one, or position, sorry. Let's make sure these are back to 60. And on the final one, we don't want this one, but we want this one. Let's say 60. And the forward needs to be 1. Good. So let's hook it up. So let's say this. Let's slide 2. One tap, yes. Let's group this one to this one, and finally this one to this one. Good. Then back we have this to this. We have this to this, and this. Good. Let's see how it plays. Probably missed a few steps, but let's see if it works. For instance, the background color we can remove. And let's play it, see if it works. And now we go back. I see we need to fix the opacity on this so you don't see the little white dot. Let's go into it again. Let's click the back. Let's set the opacity to 0. Let's do the same for the last one here. Slide 4, forward, opacity 0. Let's remove the tab interaction on forward, so we don't mix up everything. Or actually, let's set it back to 3. So if we accidentally click on it, it does the same thing as the other one. Variant, slide 3. And on slide 1, we make sure we have only on this, but we can put this one on as well, just to be safe. Slide 2. And now we should have everything set up. I forgot to set the opacity on these consequential frames. Let's try again. One last thing to do, let's add some interactions to all of this. So let's start by animating this neon noir headline stuff. If you go into framer.supply, okay, you can see my ChatGPT stuff, here we go. If you go into framer.supply, you have all these fantastic things, but let's start by, let's just grab this magic motion text, copy it, go back to Framer, highlight the artboard, paste. You should see this little thing. Let's put it all the way on the top. Let's write the same neon noir. And just to make it easier, let's make this one gray so we can overlay them on each other. So let's do something like this. Kind of like the red actually. Let's lock this. Motion text. Letter animation, no, not per word. Animate in, show everything. Stagger 15. And transition, say ease, like so. Color white. Now let's go in and pick the text. The text was tanker and it was 360 with a letter spacing of -1.5, I think. Let's put it in place. See, we need to fiddle with the letter spacing. Like this, and let's remove it from the content. Let's just make it invisible and lock it so we don't disturb it. So now we have the basic text animation, but it's placed above the slider component. So let's put it down. Let's just place it here. Good. Now let's add some animations to the rest. I want this and this one animated. Let's start with this one. Let's make it come in from the left. So effects, appear. On appear, make it slide in from the left. Not on spring, but on ease. Just do this. Let's make it half a second. Let's make it 0.5 so it waits a bit with delay. Let's make this one come from the opposite side. Effects, appear, slide in right, ease, same. See how it looks. Could probably make it a bit slower actually. So let's make it even slower. Let's say time 1. And the same with this one. Let's fade in. Let's lock this. Let's fade this one in. Maybe we should have that one come in from the bottom. Spring. Ease out. Let's do half a second. Let's delay by 1.5. Maybe 2 actually. And lastly, let's add this here. Let's just fade that one in. Let's wait until spring. 2.5. These are just guesstimates, but let's see, we can always tweak it. That was good. Let's reload it so we can see it. Perfect. And now this works as well. Perfect. Now if you wanted, you could also add some appear animations on this. Let's try that. So let's take the slider component, unlock it so we can do something with it. Let's say effects, appear. Let's have it come in from the right. Slide in right. Ease. Fade. 1 second. See how it goes. Preview. Let's move it even more so it's a lot more noticeable effect. Offset by 600. Very nice. Let's try from the bottom. That was way too quick. Let's turn it down, make it slower. No spring, ease. 1 second. I like that. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. If this tutorial proved beneficial, please consider liking the video and subscribing for more comprehensive design insights.